Hey everybody. Yeah, give me the thumbs up. How's everybody doing? This is a little bit different show, different situation. I'm gonna kind of check out the comment section. Let me know when you guys can see me. Bobby K's off tonight, especially since we're starting at 10 o'clock. All that good stuff. Guys, welcome to the channel. Most of you have been around here for a little while. There is so much we can talk about today. And we might. But at the moment, I'm jumping right in. So I'm going to give it at least a couple minutes. Did Ethan get to stream a little bit? Mitchell, what's up? Craig Beaven, Eddie, K's RC, MSJ RC, Jeff's Custom, Kevin Trappin, GB, what up? Josh Weaver, RC, George Watts, Bill Surratt, John T. Can see you in New Zealand. Man, that's John Townsend, guys. This guy's on it. He's another one of the fellas that gets the FMS stuff early. It seems like he talks to, he's in. Brian McClarty, John T, man. Usually because he's in New Zealand, or I think it's New Zealand or Australia, it has a hard time being in the room with us. I'm not going to be worried about wrenches and stuff today, guys. I mean, you're just going to have to let us get through this. Peter, Pay It Forward, Bradley, what's up? RC Air Marshal Joe Valdez, Flying Hugo, Mood Dog, Eric Quinn, Nate, awesome. So, you guys, look, the sky is falling. It's not falling. There's been a lot of talk going on lately about these things. Our deadline for commenting is the 2nd of March, which is Monday. It is not that far away. I've been slowly, I tell you, I'm like a lot of you guys, where if you look at the document, it's completely overwhelming. I'm a busy man too. And so I rely on, when there's people in the community of RC, now there's a lot of guys blowing hard this way and that way, drone guys. There's a whole lot of mess going on with this right now. I've got some ideas I think might work for everybody, and they're a lot in line with what I heard from Flitetest too. But there's multiple voices out there. I urge you to don't be cynical about this. Make your comment. Don't be that guy. Do it. Just do it. It's easy. It's easy. I could read you guys' mind later if you want me to. And they're out there to be seen if you choose to be. I think when you do it, you can choose if it's like kind of like people can see it publicly or not. I don't give a rip. I'm a public guy, right? So, and honestly, some of these guys, I really value their opinion, but I did not watch. I just know that what he's putting out is good stuff. RC Geek put out a video. RC Informer put out a video. The AMA has done some things, but I gotta tell you, above all, who I think really nailed it and has the wherewithal to nail it better than all of us was Flitetest. They've got clout. They've got a team of people. We're screwing around after hours. We got jobs just like you. I mean, me and Bobby. We're doing what we can when we can. Flitetest is dedicated. Those guys are full time, and they put in the work, and they did a great job. They put surveys out. They've got real data on what is actually going on, who's flying, and where. And there's a huge amount of people who don't fly at sanctioned fields. And if this thing goes off, everyone's an outlaw. There's gotta be another way. And it sounds like it's going down regardless. So please, I put the link. Don't watch it now. Let's hang out with me tonight. If you leave to go do a comment, then go. Because I'm going to beat your butt all night long to get it done. But I put the link to the website where you make your comment, which is very easy and painless and free. And also there's a handful of flight test videos, and they also have more than one channel at this point. So I put a link to a video in the comment section of this, what we're watching. It's the flight test video. It's their comment to the FAA. And so I think they, as a group, as a business, as a handful of they're influencers. I think they really hit the nail on the head in the way of representing the biggest swath of us. And then there's some things that I took from that and kind of gonna expound upon this evening, but I'm gonna jump right in. First of all, the numbers of how many people have submitted comments is pitiful when you consider how many people are flying. It's just like when folks bitch about the person in office, but they don't vote. It's a little bit like, why are you talking? Make your voice heard, right? And I swear, when regulations come down, regardless of what it is, they throw this stuff at the wall to see what sticks and what people will take. The louder you get, and I don't mean kiss their butt, and I don't mean be disrespectful. And I think why the flight test videos, for me, were very empowering, where it's like, okay, cool. I've heard this kind of same stuff over and over from these different guys, because I've checked out some other videos too of folks I don't know at all. I think they were drone guys and stuff, and I'm getting the gist. I'm not reading that document. It boils down to the FRIAs, it boils down to remote ID, and it boils down to we're all lumped into this UAS horse shit. I'm sorry, it kind of pisses me off. And it should you too. Make your comment. It's okay, be respectful. You don't have to kiss their butt. But watch that video. It's 15 minutes. It'll give you a little perspective. They've been to Washington. They've met with the FAA. If you want skin in the game and an angle on how to have the most impact or what to kind of say, that's the way to go. And if you're not going to do anything, everyone recommends not to copy and paste. It's better than doing nothing. All right? But so, okay, fine, appeal with emotion, but it seems also the most powerful comments are ones who understand the inherent goal of the FAA and what they're trying to accomplish. I'll get to the comments in a minute, you guys. And what they're trying to accomplish and rebut. Okay, yes, and here's a solution that might be more viable. I really, so many guys don't fly at real flying sites. If the flight test crowd, which is huge, they have a 1.5, almost 1.6 million subscriber YouTube channel. They've done tremendous things with very little, and their barrier to entry, that wall has been basically obliterated by the foam and the things like that they use. It's not my jam. It's not my jam. Just like building with sticks and running gas engines isn't my jam, but I appreciate it. That's where it all comes from. The building thing, the head work. You want to trick a kid into learning physics and math and something like that. Man, get them flying. It'll keep them out of trouble. So I think they've done a great job to collect data via surveys, process that data, and turn it into real, solid, tangible points that these guys at the FAA are going to have to consider. Now, without pointing fingers, I think we all got bundled together as UAS, right? These unmanned aerial systems. Boy, it sounds really fancy, right? I think we make this is one of my first notes, distinctions. There's got to be distinctions within disciplines and or things that fly. Furthermore, if the reason they're etching out the airspace is so companies that endeavor to use it can prosper, the burden of that cost and research and development and all that baloney needs to be on those who will benefit from using it. We who fly at 400 and below feet are just trying to enjoy it. And so my distinction, I don't know if this is out there already, but I kept using the terms recreational hobbyist. And also I pointed out commercial utility work. If you're delivering packages, if you're checking out with a bird's eye view, towers, if you're working with a drone or an unmanned aerial system, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't have to be pretty. It's not a throwback to another time. It's not flying line of sight necessarily, and it doesn't matter how ugly it is. It can carry the equipment needed to accomplish what remote ID is after. Flitetest makes a good point for this Lance system, and I believe, I don't know exactly, but I'm fairly certain it's like an app where guys who are sport pilots, not private pilots, signify their intention with this app to just for the sake of safety. So air traffic knows, hey, there's an ultralight up here or whatever like that. So the wonderful thing about the Lance system, it's already there, and if implemented, it seems like would be able to encompass our fleets, us, the individual, rather than each airplane with the gear. I mean, that's not going to work, right? I mean, it's just not going to work. The remote ID, where you outfit every one of your planes with some kind of tech, does not seem to be a feasible option. And that's, I think, what we're all scared of. This Lance thing is, the whole thing seems intrusive, feels intrusive. Nobody likes change. But if it's happening, and it is, we need to spin the narrative. We need to educate those making the rules, and the squeaky wheel's going to get the oil on this. And so I propose a divide and conquer, so to say, approach. I'm sorry about the comments, you guys. I'll get them later. I think a distinction is necessary. We got all lumped together with drones a long time ago. I don't know if somebody was trying to get in on the dues with that or what, but they kind of break off their own way anyhow. I'm not villainizing or criminalizing those guys at all. Anyone who would fly anything in harm's way or, to get a bird's eye view of a real aircraft is an idiot or doesn't behave smartly over people. That stuff, I don't even think that's what this is about. This is about etching out the airspace for perhaps delivery services and other commercial drone operations, right? Most of us fly out of the way of any of those routes. But here's my basic proposal. If you're a soar plane, if you fly in thermals, if you're above 400 feet, there needs to be a waiver for you. It may be a pain in the butt, but there should be a process for you and a place for you to go. And you would still be signaling your intent to go up with the Lance system. The Lance system also mitigates the need for them to freeze the FRIAs, which are these already sanctioned fields. What if our club, the farmer and the treasurer, are getting into a match, and all of a sudden we got to find somewhere to fly? You got this club with all this history, all these members who can't relocate. So I think they got to look at the FRIAs a little bit. And I think with this Lance deal, part of Flitetest angle was, look, you can signify that you fly in your backyard all the time. It, in a way, or the park, the soccer field, it in a way becomes like a hot spot, so to say, where, well, okay, that's where guys fly, you know. The guys in California, Discover RC, that fly at that school all the time. You know, all right, cool. And first of all, they're not in anybody's way. I also pointed out in my comment, like 3 minutes, 4 minutes if you're lucky on a jet, and maybe 10 to 15 minutes on a prop plane is not enough time to get into any trouble. Also, your line of sight, right? So the distinction to me, a recreational hobbyist, and this is the quad guys, this is the drone guys, this is the FPV guys, this is the gas guys, this is the foamy guys, this is the micro guys, this is the Flitetest guys. Anyone doing it for fun is a recreational hobbyist. We've been getting along for a long time without you. Right? Let's continue to do that. Thank you, recreational hobbyists. We're going to comply in the best way we can, and you have to make it affordable. It's nothing but downloading an app on your phone for this Lance thing. And I'm telling you, they can make it work for your fleet, for you. No additional equipment. Come on. It's not necessary. We all know the implications of killing the hobby. It's bad for general aviation. It's bad for the edge. You know, the technological edge. It's bad for all kinds of innovation. We know that. So let's deal with the brass tacks. Let's fix it. So, recreational hobbyists. I'm sorry, I'm not reading the comments right now. Really. Because it'll get me off my flow. I want to get this out there. It's been a long time coming. I knew I had to make a statement, but I wasn't going to do it just half-cocked. So, again, I applaud Flitetest for informing me and educating the FAA on demographically where we lie. The numbers are fantastic, super interesting, and a little bit what you would think. There's a lot of renegades out there flying. So, if only to sway the FAA due to just the gravity of how many people, you can't enforce it. It's just too much. So work with us. We'll comply. Some of us will, some of us won't. You know, I'm not speaking for everyone. I am going to do my best to keep this. I mean, it's silly to me that it's even a thing. That it potentially is in harm's way, the hobby itself, right? But listen, comments, emotional, fine, but get to a solution. You have to understand their intent, what they're trying to do, and offer a solution as an alternative, not just you suck kind of stuff. It's not going to do anything. So that's where we're at. And I think the more people get on the same page, the more powerful that voice is. I really do think those guys have done a fantastic job putting together their comment and some videos and all that data that they accrued by doing surveys. I'm very, very impressed. I'm glad they've done that. Someone needed to. That's independent, you know, not, I mean, it's great that companies are speaking out as well, for sure, for sure, for sure. These are all real people too. Really, they could get really loud about it because it's also, more people are into the hobby than have it as their livelihood. So I think the hobbyist voice is easier to be louder, but the guys who make a living doing this were batshit crazy about the hobby, or they wouldn't be there in the first place. In, I would say, most cases. So, all right. Distinction: recreational hobbyists. I'm not throwing drones under the bus. Don't be an idiot by an airport. Don't do dumb stuff. Don't do that with an airplane either. You know what I mean? How many folks we got, by the way? I'm just curious. So yeah, check out that flight test video. It's 15 minutes long. I think recreational hobbyist needs to be a distinction that peels away from unmanned operating systems. It's not feasible on the front of expense for us to outfit our planes with them. There's not sometimes the real estate inside those planes to implement that kind of technology, and also suffer the weight penalty, and it will completely drive folks away. They won't want to mess or make a bunch of outlaws out of good people who are really trying to mind their own damn business somewhere. So 400 feet and below, recreational hobbyists, unless you have a waiver. You might have to go somewhere where they know where it is if you want to go really do stuff. If it's coming down to this, you know. I think commercial services, let's call it drone work, utility, tool, they need to operate in their own space. Call it 600 to 900 feet. That way you've got a 200-foot buffer between the recreational hobbyists and anything else. It's not like the when that happens, which is down the road too. If and when we're seeing a bunch of drones out there running back and forth, certainly they wouldn't be armed with like noisemakers. But I know they're thinking a little bit about technology like geofencing and GPS and that kind of stuff. Once again, that burden needs to be on them. Those drones, whether they're delivering medicine, a pizza, a pair of shoes, or a bird's eye view that a rescue service needs, those, we're paying for them, by the way, if that's what they're doing. Maybe not like delivery services, but like anything in the way of security, fire, rescue, things like that. Those are ours. Those are going to be our drones. So we're paying for it. They can be outfitted with the technology they need that they're trying to impose upon us so they can operate those safely, knowing that recreational hobbyists are normally always flying line of sight. Guys who want to go as far as they can go, they need a spotter. They got to figure it out. Do something, limit the altitude, fly as far as you want. I don't care. You know what I mean? If it's recreational hobbyist, it needs to kind of fall in there. They might, subjugate it into different classifications, but I'm not the rule maker. I'm just, that's my idea of what I think a solution could look like. Because otherwise you're going to outlaw a whole lot of people, a whole lot of children, a whole lot of families, and a whole lot of future with this regulation that really seems out of context to our standard operating procedures. It's not. Their intent vicariously affects us because it's airspace. But that's it. That's the only common denominator, really. We are really good at minding our own business, going out of the way and getting it done. I mean, it's like I call it destination shopping. You have to go, if you want to see a model flying, you have to go somewhere on purpose normally. It's not like you just see it all the time, That's why we all get together online, because my neighbor doesn't do it, no one in the neighborhood does it, kind of thing like that. Yeah, those who endeavor to prosper on this airspace and these new regs need to be the ones taking the burden of cost, not us. All right. Now what? I mean, really, I try not to be cynical. You shouldn't need remote ID to fly a kite. And the way we fly these planes, sometimes they're way closer than a kite ever would be to us. Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, these things need to be asked. And again, I think in a respectful manner, not condescending, not snarky. Do what you will, but that's my recommendation. I think the minute people start pointing fingers and calling names, whatever good point you might have had to make is shut down. No one's going to hear it if they're on defense, on the defense, because of being, attacked. So guys, yeah, Paul McNeil. I mean, if you're making money, you go. I mean, it's a tool. It's a utility. Whatever. They're the ones who can afford to update their equipment. Their equipment, some of it hadn't even been designed and made yet. Work it into their stuff, not ours. Scoutabot, it could be true, but the louder we get, the more they have to care, I mean, you just have to make some noise. And don't be complacent, don't be cynical about it. You know what I mean? Because it's just kind of wimpy, It's wimpy. And if you're a wimp, well, I'm sorry. But if you can't be respectful, then at least be to the point. Say something. Please. Please. If you think for a minute, maybe a grain of your soul thinks that saying something can help, you're an asshole if you don't. Not you, by the way. One fella that I wasn't calling you out. You know what I mean? I'm in general. All right. We know that, right? I'm pumped. Yeah, you might be. And that's on them. Listen, you can have a DJI drone and set waypoints to do a mission, to do whatever. They can do the same thing. They can set their altitude to only, like a governor on a car, they can make it where it only will work. 4 to 6, I say give us a buffer, 6 to 9, whatever, Around patterns of airports, yeah. It doesn't even matter about the altitude. If it's around an airport, they need to go around the damn airport. You know what I mean? Get out of the pattern. And there needs to be a way that if something's traveling like that, that air traffic control and the operator of that system can be on each other's radar. But that's next level stuff. That's nothing to do with what we're doing as recreational hobbyists. Recreational, for fun, hobbyists. We got astronauts, we got guys who win Reno air races and stuff. Started off on models. It goes full circle. Starts at models, goes to full scale, starts at full scale, goes to models, does both. All right. So, how many guys in here, man? I was lucky to pull a stream off today. It's busy at the Ramsey house. Yeah, modelers for years have been actually fine not making the news. It's not a telemaster that's trying to get a picture of a 737 coming in. Yeah, Kermit Weeks RC. It's a super wholesome hobby, Ethan, and it's the best dudes I've ever met in my life. And I also think, oh my goodness, there are so many guys that desperately There's so many reasons to be into the hobby. But there are a lot of guys that would be very alone without it. I think it does a tremendous amount of good for people. We're not the problem. The distinction of UAS, which sounds spooky as hell, is part of the problem. You know, we put into context our operations. They're line of sight. They're in front of us. It's a racetrack. We pull vertical, do a move. We crash it into the ground. That stuff doesn't make the news because it's not a big deal because we're flying right there in front of us, line of sight. We're paying in to the AMA to have insurance, so if something does happen and we're at a sanctioned club, we're covered. And if you're flying somewhere that's not sanctioned, well, oh my gosh. Then if you're flying somewhere that's not sanctioned, then you're on your own. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. We're big boys. You make your own decisions. You drive without a license and you get pulled over, man, that was on, no one made you, right? That's on you. Dave's RC, thank you so much for that. You're crazy, and I love you. Had fun at your show last night. It was good to see you. Yeah, I mean, dude, really, think about flight times too. Like, so we know kind of a little bit the intent of the rules. You know, and like someone said earlier, follow the money and all that kind of stuff. And listen, I'm... Nothing ever would surprise me in this world in the way of conspiracy or it's George Soros wants the airspace or it's reptilian lizard presidents. Honestly, in a way, nothing would ever surprise me. But I don't know what good it does me either, fretting over sometimes the why or what or who, you know. Because the fact of the matter is, this is the situation, and the protocol has been laid out in front of us to try to come up with a solution. So I hate to defend them a little bit, but, you know, the FAA is like the messenger, right? They're kind of, I hesitate to say stuck, but they're the liaison between us and full-scale aviation and the oncoming wave of autonomous unmanned operating systems that are going to get work done. And that's a very big distinction. And I think that just needs written into the rules. And maybe the AMA has to backpedal. I'm not sure, a little bit. I think they lumped us all to... Thanks, Randy. I think they lumped us all together. And now that might be part of the problem now is to split us apart. But I really think even... you don't have to villainize camera on racing drones and FPV either. Because that stuff is done just like our flying is. Sometimes at parks, sometimes at soccer fields. But... I would hope and endeavor to say that most of those guys are not going for the money shot of the 737. I think they're good at minding their own business. I hate to villainize them as well. So I don't think camera or not is the distinction that I'm personally after. I think commercial versus recreational hobbyist. And I think it's completely different other than we fly in the airspace. It's like when a civilian or anybody who doesn't know RC or aviation asks you say something about RC airplanes. And they're like, oh, yeah, drones. They all say drones to you. What do you think about drones? I was like, well, I don't think about them. No, my answer is they're great. No one's father, grandfather, grandmother, uncle ever served on one, really. Now, some guys, like our buddy Eric, operated some overseas, and thank you for that. It's completely different than what I'm talking about. When the layman asks me about drones, they're thinking about DJI or some crap present some kid got. So I was like, and I've always said this, I was like, yeah, it's a great, I think the racing might be fun. And it's a great tool when you need to get a camera up in the sky. Otherwise, I'm into kind of the historical or the nostalgia of flight, and kind of, it's almost like a romantic vibe, right? This history, this throwback, this whole thing, man. I mean, you remember the early days. I mean, it's just like this really, really throwing back to a time where a bunch of young guys were kicking butt in these hot rods of the sky, really. You know, I'm doing jets and stuff now, but warbirds were what put aviation on the map for me. So, anyway, don't be a piece of junk. Make a comment, okay? Yeah. And, hey, look, honestly, if the rules have to come down and it's camera or not, okay, they're next. But I hope that, that was a good one. I hope that they can exist still, too. Because I think they're good for, I think people who behave well or have a community that organizes events and does what they do, they operate, you know, we're all like skunk works, right? I mean, unless you're into it, you don't know what they're up to either. Just like surface vehicles and racing and things that go along with that. Man, it's a big deal, right? And with aviation, there's so many, and even within like surface, there's so many different disciplines to that, different kinds of racing. And with the quad things, I'm sure it's the same way. There's racing and there's just kind of screwing around. You know what I mean? Steve Gubala, who knows? I mean, the rumor is what started all this is really just the inevitability that services like Amazon and whoever else might want to try to deliver things with that, or just the inevitability that someday that's going to happen. Where there's some utilities, you know, not even always delivery. I don't know how you're going to deliver a damn package, right? I mean, McDonald's gets sued because it didn't say the coffee was hot on the lid. So a bunch of whirling props or something flies down in front of your house and drops off your Metamucil. That's not going to work, man. Timmy gets hurt one time and it's done. So I kind of don't know what the fuss is about. If there's some bad actors that are flying places they're not supposed to, that are endangering human lives, then they need reined in for sure. But those of us who know the rules, because you have to know the rules to fly at a sanctioned club. Now, one thing that we're realizing from the data from Flitetest is that a lot of people probably don't know the rules because they're not members of a club. So, all right, get them the rules. You know, there was some talk of a test earlier. The test isn't a test to get you so you fail. The test would be designed, I'd hope and assume, to educate you. It's like when the teacher asks the question with the answer in it, you know? If you're not a rock, it's right there, you know, the answer. They want you to pass, you know? You guys ever been in the service and you take tests and stuff? Or you've been on the job training with one of your jobs, you know, wherever you work? They're not trying to get you normally. It's some kind of requirement for some BS insurance thing or whatever else. Somebody tell me how many folks, because I don't see my stuff like I was. What's going? You know, I could see the delivery being like, okay, well, we've got this distribution center where all the packages go to. You're going to have to go there and pick it up. Oh. Well, I could have just ordered it online. Well, but you did order it online, but now it flies to a distribution center. You have to go pick it up. Oh. So I got to go do... There was a guy did that. Now I got to go do it. Oh, okay. That doesn't seem to make any sense. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. Thanks. So what if they know who you are, man, on a test? I mean, if you honestly, dude, if you thought you had privacy in any way, you're kind of silly. I mean, if they listen, if they want to know when the butterfly takes off the peak of Mount Kilimanjaro, they can know. What's up, Anthony? Lee Davidson, just wing it. Yeah, that would be silly. I don't see that happening. I mean, seriously, think how trigger happy people are in the way of liability. I mean, seriously. My kid gets hurt because of somebody. What if they whether I ordered it or not? If something coming from billionaires hurts my kids, it's not gonna. I don't see it, man. I don't see it. Yeah, man. I really do think. Yeah, I mean, I could go on and on kind of conspiracy stuff in a way, man. Like I said, nothing would surprise me. I really don't trust a thing. And Dave, boy, they had that written already. I mean, it was ready to go, wasn't it? I mean, geez. Under the guise of security, things happen sometimes. I'm a believer that the Lord will sort it out. And so I try to just mind my own business, but sometimes you got to get noisy. And they've given us away. And my earlier point, I got off track, is they extended. You can think they're the bad guy all you want. If it makes you not comment because you think they're the bad guy, then maybe the bad guy's won. But they're giving us a platform to sway them, to make comments, to get your voice. Even if you're gonna get screwed, don't you want to be able to squeal first? Get your point out there. Do it. Do it. Do it. It's easy. You guys want me to read you mine? I'll do it. I'll do it. Drone pads. I mean, listen. If that happens, that's cool. If they figure out a way to do it safely where I don't have to worry about my kids getting chopped in the face by a drone, cool. If they use them for rescue, police, search, get the bad guy, check out the telephone pole, whatever, fine. But that's out here with the people, over the people. You should know what's going on with them there. Out in the middle of nowhere where we do our stuff, though, you don't need to know. We're not bothering anybody. And if they are going to force it on us, the Lance is the way to do it, because it's an app on your phone. I hope it could encompass our fleets. Way cheaper than remote ID. Yeah, I can get pissed too. I mean, me too. Oh yeah, did you guys want me to read it? Yeah, John T. 200,000 AMA members and 30,000 submissions. I'm saying, complacent. I mean, honestly, yeah, if they figure out how to do delivery safely, fine. But again, we're not working with our planes. Dude, they're made out of foam, dude. You can tell when you put a camera on it that it's usually suffering a little bit. I can. Read it. All right. All right. It's not, I mean, it's let's see. I peeled to the emotion a little bit and then I went right on with it. You guys ready? What the hell? I hope I don't get emotional, though. My name is Ryan Ramsey. I grew up in the backseat of my grandfather's AT-6 Harvard, World War II trainer. My grandfather flew for a living as a corporate pilot and in air shows in the T-6. Needless to say, we have aviation both full scale and model in our DNA. Model aviation has been a way for me to connect to the past, my family who is no longer living, and with my kids currently. I have a YouTube channel called Pilot Ryan Media where you can see myself and my cameraman Bobby Committa fly all of the cool new foamy electric models that are released by manufacturers. These manufacturers and distributors employ a good number of people who love aviation and also rely on the hobby for their livelihood. The community around us comes from every discipline imaginable in RC flight. Although we are very diverse, I'd still label us as recreational hobbyists. We are members of the AMA and do most of our flying at an approved AMA site. Being recreational hobbyists, I'd venture to say that most of the time we are flying by line of sight in a safe pattern. The same way many recreational hobbyists have been flying for many years. Another note I'd like to make is that our flight times are generally very short. When we fly an electric ducted fan jet, we are very fortunate to get over 4 minutes of flight. Our prop planes can get longer flight times, more like 10 to 15 minutes in some cases. With the typically short flight times most recreational hobbyists enjoy, it is safe to say that there isn't much time to get into trouble. Also, everyone I have ever flown with inherently understands and respects the airspace and is aware of the AMA rules regarding 400-foot ceiling. I really support the ideas Flitetest put out in the way of utilizing the LANC system for recreational hobbyists as an alternative for remote ID. It is an already established infrastructure that would spare the burden of outfitting every model with technology that either A, costs too much to employ, or B, simply doesn't physically fit into our models. I believe with the LANC system, the need to put regulations on FRIAs might be mitigated as well. Drones for commercial use, whether it be delivery services or as an eye in the sky for emergency services, by their nature are utility. What I mean by that is that those UAS are fulfilling a mission and can be made to carry equipment that would allow for safe accountability of their operation within the airspace. An extra dose of safety is definitely required when considering operating UAS that fly out of sight. The recreational hobbyists have been operating safely and without consequence for many years. Please refer to the extraordinary amount of data that Flitetest has accrued. When that data is taken into account, it is obvious how many people would be adversely affected by regulations that seem out of context to the operations of the recreational hobbyist. I understand what the FAA goals are. I am confident there is a middle ground in here somewhere. There is a need to define the airspace. I recommend waivers for those recreational hobbyists who fly soaring gliders, who rely on thermals, and definitely need to be able to fly higher than 400 feet. I also recommend that commercial drones occupy an elevation between 600 to 900 feet. Commercial drones will need to be designed, researched, and developed to perform all kinds of utility. With that, the burden should be on those who endeavor to prosper by using the airspace, not on the ones who are trying to enjoy it under 400 feet. Thank you, Ryan Ramsey. Drop the mic on that one. Did I do okay? Phew. I'm mad, I'm upset, I'm fired up, and you got till Monday. Get it done. One take Jake, dude. I wrote that. I wrote it in one setting. With a 3-year-old trying to eat grilled cheese with pickles on it. Right there. Seriously, man, if you're a copy-paste guy and you want that, I'll make it happen. change it a little bit or something, I don't care. It's better than nothing. Thanks, guys. You know, that's the spirit that I'm coming to this with. Oh my gosh, George. Jeez. Thanks. Do you guys think I ought to make a standalone video where I read that for like tomorrow? To fire up folks maybe a little bit? Because, man, it's pitiful. The amount of people who have done it, it's pitiful compared to how many fly. Guys, if you haven't done it, we're not snowflakes. I'm shaming you. Like, I'm shaming you. Like, don't be that guy who doesn't do it. It's really easy. It's really easy. Man, thanks, you guys are nuts with that. Thanks so much. Whew. Fired up in here. Fired up. So listen. I really do. I really felt the most empowered to deliver my comment after watching the flight test stuff, man. I really, really, really do. And there's a lot of great out there. Get it from wherever you can get it. Awesome. So listen, so I'm going to kind of get off topic now because I'm kind of over being mad. Yeah, guys, do it. It's so easy. You've got a lot of characters that you can... Emperor Palpatine. What? Do I look like Palpatine? That'd be kind of cool. Joseph, Dad, what do you want? My comment, Dad? You know what I'll do? When this is over, I'll put my comment in the description box. Yep. Okay, GB, thanks. I think that's a good idea too, actually. Yeah, Dad. So the link to the FAA where you can make the comment is very easy. You don't have to register or log in or whatever. You can tell them who you are if you want to. They already know who you are if they want to. Who cares? You know what? When you act right, you don't have to worry about that stuff. But, yeah. So... it's going. Check RC. We got all of our gear to get it started. So the extra batteries, the Cortex. I got a 8 or 9 channel super duper Spectrum receiver, like that kind of stuff. Yeah, Dad. The link's in the description box to this video, man, to the FAA. And then there's also a link to the flight test video where they talk about the comment they made and kind of whittle it down into a couple really, I think, highlights that we need to speak to and touch on and offer solution on. And if you watch that flight test video and you didn't have any earlier context, you may not get the gravity at how good of suggestions they're actually making. But when you compare the way the Lance app works on your phone versus the... I could say every cuss word in the book, versus the other remote ID type tech that would have to be implemented, the Lance system is the way to go. So yeah, Dad, description box. Right on. Oh, on the Facebook group as well? Yeah, okay. Yeah, you guys can share it out. McClarty. All right, I'm with you, man. State your case. You know what I mean? If you guys need more than 400 feet to do turbines, say so. Say so. You know, you say it loud enough and everybody else will start go with you too. You know what I mean? It's been 400 forever. That's just kind of arbitrary at this point. We just default to that language. I don't care what footage we go for, you know, just leave us alone. The timeline's like, what, 3 to 5 years out? Sales receipt? Come on. Think about, Frankie, think about how many guys are swap meet dudes. Or like you say, scratch built. Well, that's the thing, Scottabot. If they're going to force it on us, if you had to pick a system, if they're forcing it on you, and you have to pick a system, this Lance app on your phone that simply just you'll use to, what am I trying to say? Communicate your intent to be flying in your airspace, wherever it is, your backyard or soccer field. That may be enough, and you wouldn't necessarily have to tie. It would be about you, the pilot in command, as was earlier said, not each aircraft. Like, really? The FAA needs to know it's a Bigfoot. It's a 3-cell power. It's a Tiger Cat. That's a 6S one. I mean, come on. That's just craziness. So I don't think. I mean, honestly, I think the remote ID is super far away because I don't know how anybody could implement it. And what would happen is everyone's an outlaw. And they've gotten nowhere. And if folks in the commercial arena are trying to etch out airspace, again, it'd just be kind of a crapshoot. They'd have this arbitrary parameter for operating their drones, and they would be relying on the integrity of the remote ID systems as if everyone had complied. But it's just like the bad guys with the gun ain't gonna register it. But he's got one anyway. Don't make us like that. Yeah, Eddie K. With Lance, you give them a time frame you intend to use, and probably location. Yeah. You know? I mean, if that works for sport pilots, like general aviation sport pilots, it should work for us. Yeah, but GB, I think you can signal your intent before you even get there. Scottabot, I 100% agree. Unfortunately, though, that's not where we're at. I wish. I mean, piss off. Me and the Marlboro Man are going to hang out, have a Coke and a smoke, and fly whatever the hell we want, whenever we want. But it's not that way. So we have an opportunity. I'm with you, man. I think it stinks. But we have an opportunity, though, to be heard. Yeah, man. I mean, RJ Deering, all you guys with the sour puss comments, don't let it stop you. This is why we got 20,000, some pitiful amount of comments, and out of so many guys who fly. You can think the worst, whatever, I don't care, but don't let it keep you from moving. It's easy. Do it for your buddies. Make a comment. Make a comment. Really, watch one flight test video. I put the link in the description box. Put together a comment. Your third grade teacher ain't going to grade you on penmanship, punctuation, none of that. Just do it. Yeah. Kill them with data. Kill them with comments. Kill them with, I don't know about kindness, but get them. I mean, if you love it like you say you do, and you think it might do an iota of good, you're an asshole if you don't. Just saying. All right. So, man, Yeah, Brian McClarty. Man, seriously, check out the Flitetest stuff. And Lance, it's Lance. Google it, because I don't know a thing about it. That's what I'd have to do too. I got the gist of how it operates. That's all I needed to know. It's the best alternative I've heard so far to the idea that the remote ID is going to be implemented and there ain't nothing we can do about it. It's the best answer. It's the best answer. And I think better answer, distinction between, seriously, unmanned, what's the UAS shit stand for? Unmanned aerial systems, right? Something like that. Dude, unmanned aerial systems. Like, it's a model airplane, man. It's a model airplane. It's a toy. Unmanned aerial system. Perform utility tasks. It's a tool for accomplishing some sort of mission. Regulate the shit out of that stuff. Fine. Regulate the shit out of it. Tax it. Remote ID, transponder, ugly antenna, every bloody thing you can hang off of it so they know where it's at. But they're doing a mission. They should have accountability. We're minding our own damn business and have been forever. Distinction. I would love, for me, the idea of distinction, recreational hobbyist, might get a whole lot of folks off the hook. Man, these corporate guys, if they're the ones pushing the agenda to etch out airspace, then they pay. Son of a bitch, I'm about to throw his chair. All right. I'm trying to be done. All right, Steve Gubala. See you later, man. Oh, man. Mikey likes it. Come on, man. Don't be so crass. Don't be so cynical. Everybody makes a difference. Just do it anyway. Yeah, the mission is fun. Completely different. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to just go on and on and on and on about this, but I think, honestly, it'd be a big miss if I didn't. Honestly, personally, I didn't want to go there publicly with this because it gets me mad. And I could be so pissed about it also, and cynical, that I can see how people don't, I mean, apparently a lot of people won't do anything, won't make a comment. But something about this position I've put myself in over the years gives me that extra oomph to do it. To make the right call, do the thing, study up a little bit, get uncomfortable, and make a statement. It's easy. Mr. Laserfast number 40 is new to the hobby and just made a comment. You're a badass. Thanks for doing that. Yeah, Double A, that's cool. History being made today with the Help Save Our Hobby campaign today. Protest at the FAA. Headquarters today went off without a hitch and was a big voice for us all. Thank you to the UFDA crew and many others. Fantastic. These stories need to come around. You know, I think get people fired up. Get them fired up. And guys, I'll put my comment, my full comment, in the description box of this video. Yeah, shame your buddies if they can't get off their ass and make a comment. I'm sorry, man. I'm off color today. I don't usually cuss and stuff. I mean, I cuss like a sailor when the camera's not on. But, yeah. Sorry. I'm fired up. For real, Lee Davidson. You know, I'll tell a story. I've gone there before. I think some of you guys who follow real close might recognize this. When I was younger, man, and I rode skateboards, a bunch of kids, we were getting tickets. I was like, what? And it was from an ordinance in the 60s, and really it boiled down to, once again, distinction. So it's okay to play football and perhaps get hurt because it's classified as a hazardous activity. And you could do that at a public park, whatever, anywhere in town that you could play. It's a hazardous activity. It's on you if you get hurt. For whatever reason, skateboarding was considered a different classification, maybe recreational, or I don't know, something about, maybe it was lumped into transportation somehow. And so if somebody got hurt, they were worried about liability. At least that's what they say. I think they just didn't want a bunch of hippies riding around on skateboards. And then, you know, as time progressed, they didn't want a bunch of kids beating up on curbs and benches and everything else. That was totally fun. So distinction, classification made all the difference. Skateboarding is 100% a hazardous activity. And another thing that's funny is rollerblades and BMX bikes were not in that mix at all. So there's things that aren't right. I mean, it's still legal in some towns to spit on the sidewalk. You know what I mean? Who's enforcing that? I mean, there's just stuff on the books that's goofy. There's stuff they try to put on the books that's goofy. And they'll pass it in the middle of the night, or they'll throw it at the wall and sticks and see if anybody raises a ruckus. And if nobody raises a ruckus, they win. With that, more restriction and regulation. If the regulations are coming anyway, we owe it to ourselves and the future of this hobby to try the best we can to shape it with them. And if you say they're pretending to care what we say and they want our comments as nothing but a farce, well, they already won with you because you gave up already. Fight. It's easy. Just make a comment. For real, John T. Hey, people are, it's becoming quite wimpy all over the place. Don't be a wimp. When you stand up for nothing, you'll sit down for anything. All right. I keep saying that like I'm done. I ain't done. I'm not done. I'm proud of myself, you know? I've been dreading it too. And I knew that's how I roll, man. Last minute. It's Saturday. You got all day tomorrow, and you can do it on Monday. And if it helps if I let you go, I'll let you go right now. Yeah. Get it done. Our rep NC, I agree. It probably is. Yeah, they are proposed rules. They're not actual rules, which is why this is a perfect time to express our sentiments. And I think the more unique voices end up falling on the same thing. I think we need to be throwing around recreational hobbyists like a mother. Throw it around, beat it into them. Right? Yeah, Dad. We took a bunch of kids to town hall or whatever and made the papers, all kinds of stuff. And you know what they did with that 1960s ordinance? Not a damn thing. They made signs and they posted them up. They didn't change nothing. Except that a bunch of little skater kids got educated that the fine could be up to $25,000 for riding a skateboard or something. And I got pulled over a time or two and I was like, yeah, write me a ticket for $25K. Like, seriously, let's see how that flies. You give me that to go to town hall with. It's asinine. So in essence, nothing came of my effort. I'm all about air quotes today. Nothing came from that effort other than a huge amount of education for myself and everyone involved. And it doesn't keep me from standing up. You look, honestly, they put up the signs, but I didn't see them bothering us anymore. You know? So it's crazy. But it's not going to keep me from piping up. And you know what? They weren't asking for us to pipe up on the skateboard deal. We dug it up. I had people help me. I had people's parents coming at me like, you know what? Actually, it's an ordinance from whatever. Oh, okay, cool. Give me all the information I can handle. And I went and represented all the skaters in town. But, yeah, I mean, they completely shit in our Wheaties on that one. But so what? But the FAA is asking us for our comments. So I think more people propose solutions, alternative solutions to the things being recommended, the more likely we are to get those. And I tell you, I really love the distinction deal. I think that's an angle you got to work, and I think this Lance thing is the angle you got to work. I think the ramifications of what it does to us as a society in the way of technology and general aviation is a given, but speak to that as well. And really, and I don't mean distinction like, okay, drone guys. I mean recreational hobbyists. Let them do the work on subjugating it into different classifications if they feel the necessity. I think if that's the case, we dodge the bullet. We're last to go kind of stuff anyway, you know? Because it is line of sight. It's not cameras. We're not... I think the utility angle, the missions, the commercial, like they have the cost to bear. You know, earlier, Amazon, FedEx, yada, yada, yada. By the way, I don't know how they can deliver something in front of my house with spinning propellers, by the way. Skynet. Who knows? Could be. Whatever. And if that's the case too, still, I still want to fly my toys. What can you do if that's going on other than peg it out of the sky or whatever? They're not asking us. I get it, Race 22, but they are. They're not. Maybe they don't care, whatever. But that's not going to get us anywhere. We may be screwed no matter what. But isn't it worth a try? Isn't it worth a try? You say drone or UAS, no one is thinking of a foam P-51. Absolutely, drone lord. Yeah, too many trees, says George. What's up, Noble Dro? Yeah, it isn't going to go well if guys are out there minding their business. A bunch of retired guys, a lot of times, too. Out there minding their own business, getting arrested? No. Yeah, I'm telling you, you got to separate the commercial use from fun. And I think we can all, recreational hobbyists, that's the lump we want to be in. UAS, I don't even think we refer to ourselves that way. Scottabot, yeah, man. Yeah, Noble Dro. If our planes did have all that GPS, automated flight, auto land, and all that stuff, it wouldn't be any fun. We wouldn't do it. Yeah, Sklasanda. Well, the deadline for the comments are March 2nd, so they'll have a lot of data, I hope, to pour over. And then I don't know the answer. But, I mean, from everything we've heard, it's I think 3 to 5 years at the earliest, their hope to perhaps implement this remote ID stuff. I don't even think it's on the radar, though. I don't think they're anywhere close. And if they distinguish us from commercial work, utility, missions, they can remote ID the commercial guys all the hell they want. Just, I don't, it doesn't make sense for us. And they will kill it if they force it that way. If they're going to push that, the app that already exists on your phone to signify your intent to fly recreational pilots, sport pilots, non-private license carrying pilots who fly light aircraft. That's what that Lance thing is. It can be implemented to work with models, and I think it could work with the model pilot and his whole or her whole fleet without the need to put specific stuff in each one. Yeah, I know they do. Too quick. Too quick. You know what I mean? Keith Christie says 3 years complete compliance. You know, it's still on the table, isn't it? Yeah, 3 years at the earliest. Good luck. You'll see them coming around like the mailbox police, making sure you're not messing with mailboxes. Proximity beacons for line of sight, a land-based beacon that broadcasts a range of 10,000 feet. That UAS operation. Yeah, I think we never call our stuff UAS. It just sounds too official. Rolling loops are the ticket, Mike SSI. Yeah, Richard Webb. No UAV. Compliance also could be a receiver that doesn't let you fly it over 400 feet. Everything's, not everything, but telemetry is starting to be come with things at this point. Nice, George. Thanks. I put the HST 400 together this morning. It takes a little nose weight to get it to balance using the 2200 3S pack as recommended. That makes sense. Awesome, George. Thanks. Don't be wimps, says GB. All right. JCB67. Other manufacturers are voicing their opinions. Horizon Hobby's done some pieces on this. I haven't seen the Motion RC video, but they did one as well. And I'm sure... I mean, I know RC Geek, RC Informer did one. I didn't watch... either of those, just because I think one of them was 45 minutes or something. But yeah, watch those. You know, the Flitetest guys, they have the power, right? I mean, they went to Washington, they met with the FAA. I think they had the best. They had what I wanted, which was close access to the people making this stuff happen. Yeah, I'm sure it was GB. And that was another one I was going to check out. But I kept, you know what, Flitetest kept putting out stuff on this. And I kept watching it. And then ultimately, The one where they talk about their comment was, yeah, Rotor Riot. I saw him, Mr. Steele. I saw him start doing it as well. Yeah. Thanks, Cloud Streets. Yeah, AOPA. Awesome. I have I shared it out with some full scale groups a little bit as well. Huh. What do you mean you can't get AS3X? Oh, don't say that, love. Love RC. Don't want to buy new receivers for all my aircraft. Would rather just buy something I could stick in them. How about don't buy shit? Download a freaking app. Download an app. I'm going flying, dink. And you're done. Remote ID this. Not picking on you, but we don't want to put stuff in our planes. Imagine these little flight test planes or micros and things like that, have them put something in them. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Yeah, I don't think they got rid of AS3X. I mean, why would you? That thing is a game changer. It's safe and AS3X a lot of times now. 2 more days, get it done. 4X. I'd rather buy nothing. Yeah, no, we would all rather buy nothing. We'd all rather buy more planes. Is it discontinued or just out of stock, you guys? You're right, Dad. But it's the kind of stuff you can't ignore and it go away. You know, you can't. That's why so many people just turn away, don't do anything. This hope, but it's like if you hope, do something. Yeah, do your part, guys. Don't justify not doing your part with some lame ass excuse. Just do it. It sounds like that, Dad, but it's pretty. I think after you did it once, it'd be no big deal, and it sucks, but it's better than the alternative. That's the thing, you know. Air map, same idea. I don't care how you get there, but some app like that, something that's you don't have to buy for every one of your planes. Yep. It was easy. It took me 5 minutes. I did it next to a 3-year-old today, and I got it done. For real. Ding the damn app. I think it'd be one of those things too. It's like it'd be set after the first time, and you just, yeah, it's because I live and work and play, eat and breathe in this town. In my hat, technophobe. Yeah, I don't care what app it is. There's a few different ones, but you get the idea. Okay, so Let's talk about me for a minute. We're about to hit 10,000 subs. Nice, John T. Look at airshare.co.nz. You download an app and log your flight job. Done. Cloud Streets wants to know what started this mess with the FAA. Well, I don't think it was FPV flying. I think it was a couple bad things going on around airports. You know? And then, when drones came on hard, we got lumped in with them. And quads and stuff, multi-rotors came on strong. We got lumped in with them when we shouldn't have. So now we're all in the same UAS baloney. And that's what we're up against now. I mean, I think that's what started it. Huh. He can have the sky, Bezos, as long as we get it too. We're not in his way. He can't deliver frickin' stuff. I'm sorry, man. It's just the silliest shit I've ever heard of. Parachute? I mean, so the props don't hit us, so they're going to parachute drop it in? Look, man, make the comment. There's a lot of craziness in here. Our planes don't fly that long. They're not up long enough to cause any trouble. Make it where folks know the rules. They can beat any other kind of disinformation or information into us that they want. Do it with this. Get the rules out there. Until I started flying at Sanctioned Club, I didn't know what they were either. But I still wasn't the kind of guy who wanted to fly formation with a Cessna. You just know better unless you're a dumbass. So don't be a dumbass. No, that didn't help George Watts. And man, those cats need reined in. That's not recreational hobbyist, because the term recreational hobbyist implies to me a knowledge of basic common sense and the rules. Yeah, I know there's no common sense anymore. Make your damn comment anyway, guys. We're not going down the negative road. Do it anyway. So yeah, man. We put out a bunch of videos last week. Here's the deal, too. If it's public, who made a comment, I want to figure out how to check. Because we're about to hit 10K over here, and I'm going to do a giveaway. I got a couple sponsored companies. A couple companies are going to donate to that cause already. And if you didn't make a comment, you ain't winning. You ain't getting one. You don't win. You don't get a chance. I'll check. I'm going to check. So don't even enter if you're not going to make a comment. How about that? I actually did send 2 comments because my kid wrote one. My boy wrote a comment as well. Total 8-year-old comment, emotional plea. No guidance from me at all. He's like, Dad, help me. He spells stuff wrong, but you still know what it is, you know. I was like, it doesn't matter, man, because I gotta type it in anyway. I'm not gonna type it in wrong, so I'll just fix it when I type it in. I totally put his comment out too. Yep, you get a receipt. That's right. You have to send me the receipt. And you got to be subscribed to the channel. I mean, it's a 10,000 sub giveaway. Be subscribed to the channel. There's no Frankie Envy. You can comment more than once. I think you can comment all you want. Gaming for fun. Absolutely. Probably a lot of guys have done that. One day I was flying my foam jet and a real plane came close to my plane and I landed my plane so I wouldn't bother the real one. I've been flying at Muncie, Academy of Model Aeronautics, numerous times where something flew over, civilian, and a couple times a couple A-10s. And you hear the A-10s coming. And so you land and you watch it. You know what I mean? You land, you get out of the way, and you watch the real one fly over. And if the real ones, I mean, the A-10s are moving. You don't, and you get out of the way. You know, get down, get out of the way. But the civilian stuff, just putzing along, staying at the same altitude. Just come down. You don't have to land, but come down. You know what I mean? Land if you want to, but there's a lot of guys who have been flying planes and not had incidents or incursions with real aircraft. Jeremy Diamond, thank you so much, man. You guys are great. Yeah, Scottabot. That's where I took my lessons, that little strip Reese Airport on the south side of the AMA property. And their approach, they don't even bother. Maybe guys from out of town don't know better and will fly over AMA sometimes. I mean, there's been folks, we've been at events and folks have flown over the site numerous times. And not one guy have I ever seen go up after it. You know? It's just not, it's just dumb. It's just dumb. You know, if there's going to be some technology like a geofence or something like that, it would be nice if it were, you know, upgrade your radio kind of style, upgrade your receiver, you know what I mean, put in this tech that doesn't let it get by a real one, or, you know, whatever, retards the throttle if it gets by a real one. That's a good idea, Mike Keller says. Mike Patey, the guy that built Draco, is doing the giveaway, and only people that can qualify must attach receipt to their comment. Yep. Oh, yeah, Grossman. What I missed, John T. What? Bruce roasted him? What? Ah, I see. Yeah, X-Jet give him hell, huh? Cool. Rhino, I hear you, man. I agree. Yeah, my hat is dirty, dang. Frankie NV, don't remind anybody. Wow, 144 folks. That's amazing. You guys are troopers. Look, man, we went up. Will Walker, what's up? We went late today. We did a premiere at 9 o'clock because busy around here. Gave Bobby the night off, so to say, because we're going to try to go out tomorrow and get some more things done. We had a great weekend last weekend, even though it was so gross out and windy. We got a lot of stuff done. So there's still more videos from that session last weekend that you guys are going to see. RC Was Dude, the link is in the description box to this video. So it's easily accessed. You can get to it right now. That's so you can watch, if you need some inspiration, you can kind of watch a 15-minute flight test video where they talk about their comment and kind of some of the things, solutions they provide. Also loads of data, which is really cool to see. And then the link to the FAA where you make the comment, which is super easy to do, are both in the description box of this video. Jamie Reel, what's going on? A lot of new faces in here tonight. Glad to see you. Subscribe to the channel. Look, we make a lot of videos on airplanes, a lot of the new stuff that's released. We are in a unique position where we get to do a lot of that. And we're over the moon about that. Gonna just keep on keeping on. John Graham, somebody else might be able to answer this for me. When does the FAA decide? I'm not sure. Yeah, Paul McNeil, Bobby's Waco with the jet engine was cool. Watch that premiere if you want to see the Waco with the jet engine on it. It's the first plane in that video. John T, yeah, I'll be back to the regular time. I still did a video at 9 Eastern, but it was just like a compilation of some flight videos, a little bit from last week, things that are already been released in the way of video, and then a couple other clips of things that are coming in this week in the future. The next plane release, I know I've got something cooked up for the end of March that was maybe gonna be actually last week. So the coronavirus has played havoc on a lot of business that deals with Asia. Eric Tennant, exactly. Thanks, gaming for fun. The distinction needs to be between commercial, business, and recreational hobby. Yep. Recreational hobbyists fly for fun. The burden of the expense needs to be on those who will prosper from the use of this etched out airspace, not the guys flying under 400 feet. Chuck, thanks, man. Grossman, see you later. Yeah, thanks, Chuck Galucci. Did you do the HSD F-16? Man, dude, it's like snow in here. No, we didn't. We just got it. It takes a long time to turn things around. Bobby and I have full-time jobs like a lot of you guys. More of those commercials, huh? Yeah. Watch RC Pilots Lounge number 83, Will It Fly, behind the scenes. Oh, man. Love you, Ryan. Aviation has been my life. It's for the better. Make a comment and help save the hobby. Everyone sub and make a comment to help save the hobby. Oh, man. Matthew Smiley's RC Center. Thanks so much. Yeah, so Jamie, we did fly the Avanti version 3. I didn't yet. Bobby did. He was dying to that whole day. It finally kind of calmed down, but it was like getting dark, and the camera battery, we had spin it because we got so much content. So I filmed the FMS Avanti version 3 on my cell phone, which is not my favorite deal, but still, I do plan. I like to put out full videos, right, beginning to finish. I don't cut them. My editing is all about exposure, brightness, contrast, saturation, zoom it in. I don't cut, except just BS talk at the beginning, or if I'm repetitive, I'll cut it out. Or if I say for too long, I'll cut it. But the FMS version 3 shot on my cell phone is going to be cut to shiz because it's a cell phone video. It's a jet. It sucks. So we're going to, I'll edit for the narrative. You'll see us having a good time with it, but we'll take it back out and do legit work with that. Brad Mullins, appreciate that. Says thanks for tonight. Yeah, John T. A lot of China are still on extended New Year holiday. I call it the RC apocalypse, that Chinese New Year deal. I'm told by my buddies over there, so everyone like FMS, Freeway, etc., all their suppliers are off work, so it's a right mess. Brosiferdibus. Technophobe. All right, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's 11:45. We started late, so. Oh, that's great. And someone's going to figure out how to charge $1 million gazillion for it. But whatever. Will Walker, it is you. I thought that was you, Will from Michigan. He says he's not going to post when I forgot to put the wing spar in his HSD F-16 back in Muncie. Yeah. I thought it looked like there was an awful lot of dihedral in that F-16. It didn't end well for him either, George. Dale Cheek, bring it on. Dale Cheek says, beware, GB Linden's a secret undercover FAA rat agent. Cool. I think I've been friendly. I've been friendly. It's the rest of you guys that are in trouble. Chuck Galucci got an air tractor tonight, Pilot Ryan Media style. I think, according to Facebook. And does anyone know how the FAA is coming along with getting Boeing to fix the 737s? I'm not sure. Number one. Haha, Dale. Says GB Linden. Number one. Yeah, if there's a foamy you like, buy it now. That's no doubt. Because replenishment of stock may be, everything is put back. Everything has been affected by this. The supply chain, the whole deal. So did I cover it, y'all? Dirty hat and dirty mind. Yeah, man, it's what work looks like, man. You get dirt on your hands. I had 2 flat tires this week. One on my wife's car, happened in the driveway, thank goodness. And then I had one today. Let me explain today, just quickly. Yesterday, I'll start today with yesterday. Yesterday, Friday, worked daddy-daughter dance, busy, all day and night. Today, we work 6 days a week. So I had one of my guys come in and run the office because my boy and my daughter, the baby doesn't do it yet, but my boy and my girl do theater. And I don't know why. They've only seen their dad in front of a camera their whole life. But so it was like build sets and stuff like that. So I'm handy. So when I say I volunteered, what I mean is my wife did volunteer me, basically, to go like build sets and help out at the theater this morning. And so I got there and they didn't have any tools to really do what we had to do, and I do, and I'm like, there's no way. I'm sharing tools with this guy or whatever. Like, I live close, like I'm gonna go get my tools. And on the way back, I trying to decide if I was gonna turn in the lot or take it wide and go the wrong way down this alley just so I can dump off all my stuff, because I grabbed my chop saw, circular saw, jigsaw, and some hand tools, drills and stuff. And I was just dilly-dallying, taking it wide, thinking I might take that alley, and I totally just, bam, a curb. And so I'm like, son of a gun. I got like 2 hours I'm supposed to be volunteering, ended up being 3. My wife's got a baby shower, air quotes. That's what it was. I mean, nothing clandestine. Baby shower. And then the mother-son dance tonight. So I had my girls tonight. We just chilled. I wrote my comment while lunch was happening and stuff like that. But yeah, I had to fix that. I fixed that tire real fast and still helped on the sets and everything. So I'm rolling around on a donut on my car, and I don't care. I'm gonna drive it 15 minutes to go fly tomorrow. Mike Keller, see you later. Nice to see you. Love you too, Dad. Thanks, Dad. Yeah, do it, man. Tell your story. Watch that flight test video, man. If you look at the document, if you go to the website where you make the comment, you can click and see the document. The hell. It's like, you ever read lawyer stuff? Gee, just say it, for goodness sakes, right? It's all this legal mumbo jumbo, right? And it's kind of like that with this NPRM deal. Watch a couple videos, you get the gist, and you can do what you got to do after that. Scottabot, yeah, my father and mother-in-law have a Stanley Steamer franchise they've had for 30-some years that I've been involved with for 8. So I do everything at this point there, and they're about to retire, so I can run it while they're gone, and I do. But I kind of rather be on the truck dealing with people. But you know, my heart is in this, and I've been really close to full-time with this before, and I probably will always kind of want to be. So, anyway, pay it forward. Thanks, man. Paul McNeil, Johnny on the spot. Yeah, it's me today. Yeah, I hope they're going to be open to our comments, too. All you can do is make comments. Play the heartstrings a little bit if you must. But I think really get to the point of alternative solutions to this crazy shit that they're trying to recommend. It's crazy. Lee Davidson got some cheater slicks on the back of his dually, and it's snowy. He's not going anywhere. I did see that, Brad Mullins. I'm telling you, if you had to pick representatives for us who speak with the most accurate voice for who I think we are as recreational hobbyists, not always guys flying at sanctioned clubs. Nobody with a turbine should be flying at the park, by the way. Or a big 6S thing shouldn't be flying at a park. But look at the data from the flight test guys. There are so many guys who are not members of the club or not members of the AMA. And oh my goodness. I just don't think they're in the trenches with us the way they ought to be. I think everyone feels that way. I hate to say it, but as a representative, if I'm choosing, I think Flitetest really did a great job. Fantastic job at outlining what I think it means to us well. Realistic solutions. They've got a lot at stake too. So getting behind them, even if you're not a flight test guy, will help bolster and raise the volume of that voice too. Everything they said made sense to me. It really did. What I've mentioned tonight expounds upon that a little bit, but yeah, do your part, guys. Unless you're a piece of garbage. Yeah, I know he is, Lancaster. Ryan O with Sarah McLachlan playing a sad song, right? Behind it. Absolutely, William. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, if you guys win on this giveaway in the future, you got to present to me a receipt that you made a comment. Yeah, Yeah, Magma GD. See you later. Yeah, Scoutabot. I'm saying commercial. Commercial anything. Go ahead. Go ahead. "14-acre front yard." Yeah. That's too bad, Critter, because... Thanks, Chuck. Yeah, that's cool, man. Matthew Smiley's RC Center. That's hilarious. All right, man. A lot of new guys in here. Listen, subscribe to the channel. Turn on the post notifications. We put out some cool stuff, and there's a lot of guys in here who have channels as well. You should check them out. You can post your receipts all over Facebook. Shame everyone you know into doing this. You know what I mean? Shame them. You can post it on RC Pilots Lounge on Facebook. You can post it anywhere. Right? I'm not going to need anybody to provide it until and if they win. So I don't have a way to track and keep that information, so it doesn't do me any good right now. But when that day comes, when we hit 10,000 and we do a giveaway, you don't get it unless you have submitted a comment. Alan Gentry says he's a commercial pilot, and you're right about Flitetest. They put it right on the money, man. Right? They really did a great job. I mean, dude, they went and visited with the FAA. Like, maybe more than once. Yeah, man, you know, the thing about freedoms in America, we all get pretty surly when they want to change things. And I understand 100% the guy who has his own property and wants to fly on it without worrying about this. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. I mean, sometimes you deal with the what is. You know, it's too bad. I always wished Flitetest would come at me to be their like foamy representative. They're a foamy guy. You know what I mean? They're what's on the market, because you know very much of their stuff is that hand built foamy stuff, which is just looking better and better all the time. Still not, it's not for me, but I appreciate what they do a lot. Just like I appreciate, I've said it, gassers and older tech covering and in the art of working with balsa and light ply and all that stuff. It's just not something I'm gonna do. Follow me on Instagram, Octane209. Hey, send me a direct message at the Pilot Ryan, and I'll follow you back. Gaming for Fun 007. You got an identity crisis there. You got too many names. Yeah, I know, Brad. I mean, what's funny, it's like, you know, I'm driving trucks now, and I jump them. That's the whole thing for me, is jumping, bashing these trucks. And, I mean, they're flying too, kind of. So look, it's midnight, y'all, around here. Paul McNeil says Flitetest got him back into the hobby. Yeah, you can't, I don't care if you're into that stuff or not, you cannot deny the power of their numbers and their voice. And they tend to always, for me, end up on the right side of history. in the way of their responses and the way they behave. I think they're a class act operation, man. I'm not being a fanboy. I just super appreciate their efforts on this. I really, really do. Because I don't feel well represented. I don't. And really, man, I'm glad Motion made a video. I'm glad Horizon has made some videos. It's great, and they should. But there's something about it, because it's a business, it's not the same. It's just not the same. And Flitetest is a business too. But I don't know. It seemed it's different. They did a great job. We all need them. Horizon, Motion, everybody's going to benefit from Flitetest efforts. I hope we all benefit from their efforts. And I'd like to see you guys watch that stuff and echo some of those same sentiments, because the more they hear some of the same things, the more it might stick. And there's some really reasonable solutions in there. I don't care what you call the app that does what their Lance does, but that's all we need. We don't need to implement stuff into every one of these things. Guys aren't going to do it. Guys aren't going to do it. They can't afford it. If they're forced to, it's going to kill the thing. It's going to kill it. Let's fight for it a little bit. Frankie, NV. After planes, trucks get boring fast. I'm having a great time with them. Here's why I like them. One reason. I can do it anywhere. Front yard, backyard, the shop. On my way home from the shop. It's a lot easier for me to piss around with a truck than it is a plane. I love the planes. When I do them, I pack up all I can fit, and we go and we stay all day, and we work them up and we film it, and that's what it's been for me for many years at this point. Every time I get a fly, y'all see it. Seriously, I think about. I can probably count on one hand how many times I'm flying without a camera on it in a year. Yeah, Frankie, that'd be sweet. Right, William. The STEM programs, the curriculums, the stuff they do with kids, they've got the best platform to jump from and potential to be heard by these guys. And then the smarts to issue surveys where they're able to accrue all this data that they can use to back up what they're saying. I mean, you can't argue with numbers, man. Hey, Pilot Robert, what's up, man? What's up? Good to see you. Yeah, George. Everybody, thanks for coming by. Robert, we're going to leave in a minute. Yeah, Full Scale guys are commenting. Hey, when I reached out to my Full Scale buddy about this, he agreed with me 100%. The ramifications on general aviation that would creep into our world if this stuff goes down the way it's proposed right now. All right. I hate to leave, man. It feels like a weird night. Didn't start at 9, started at 10, did a premiere at 9. Robert, you guys put a jet on your Walco too? A jet engine? Bobby did one. And we put it up at 9 o'clock tonight with some other videos. Watch that premiere tonight that went down at 9 in the next few days, because I'm gonna probably take that one down, because I'm gonna use that Walco with the jet for its own standalone video also. So if you want to see that compilation, check that out. I got to get with FMS to get some power systems. So now that we've flown the Gloucester Meteor, I totally want to Go 6S on it. Raymond Molina, good to see you. Awesome. Meet Servo. Cool, man. Thank you for coming by. I tell you, I hope I got a bunch of new subscribers tonight, because there's a lot of names I have not seen before in here, and I'm glad. I really, very busy day, lucky to get it up and running on time, but I didn't share this out. But I hope people got inspired to do something tonight, you guys. Thanks, John T. Yeah, 6S it. Hey, yeah, I'll reach out to FMS. Fly slow and sexy for the pleasure. Yeah. Yeah. I love those guys, man. They're fun. I always feel like they're with me anyway. Like when I'm flying and making videos, like we just have a blast. John T put FMS 4S 12-blade fans in his Dynam 262. It hauls the mail. On the same motors? Just the fans? Or the whole EDF unit, John T? Scottabot, thanks, man. Ha! Rhino, awesome. Thanks for that. That's great. Wrote some more comments. Robert puts EDFs on everything. Yeah. I want to see a sausage go through an ADF. Scottabot. One of these days, you guys are going to have to... I've got truck videos in the queue, guys. I just haven't put them out yet because I know nobody... no one's going to watch them. Ryan O. Yeah, man, blow them up, dude. They need to know. They need to know. Thumbs it up, guys, if you're cool. Thumbs it down if you're not. Thanks for coming over. New guys, Mark Z, appreciate you doing that, man. Thanks for submitting your comment. Remember, if you win something in my 10,000 giveaway, you got to produce a receipt of your comment to me, or you don't get it. Oh, man, absolutely, says William Decker. Pilot Robert could stay for free all over the states. Absolutely. 5 minutes on a 4S 4000 complete FMS 4S EDF unit. Comes with same fan as 6S, but 2750 kV. Got it. GB Linden is absolutely right. Wow. Mr. JD Crow, congrats on your maiden and off grass as well. That's cool. Add moderator. GB Linden's 100% right. Have receipts, will travel. Yeah. I hate leaving, y'all. You know what to do, guys. So listen. The Premier 9, there's a handful of airplanes in it. There's links in the description to all of that stuff. Or you can go to Pilot Ryan Media and do your thing. I'm not going to belabor that point tonight. In the description of this video is a link to make your comment. There's a link to the flight test video. And I am going to put my comment in there as well. If somebody wants to take it and change it up, do it. I don't give a rip. Do it. Go ahead and post a link to the Twitter account if you'd like. Are they taking... I'd hate to see guys waste their effort, though. I mean, if they're taking comments on Twitter, which I highly doubt, sure. But if it's taking anybody away from doing a legit comment, then I would say don't. Rhino, you're right. Hashtag. Yeah, I thought FAA, no way, but it's like, nah. Get rid of remote ID. You know what I mean? Get rid of RID and remote ID. No remote ID. Hey, maybe we can come up with something. I'll think about it. All right, John T. 6/11 Sunday, where you're at. Sunday night. Let my foamy pass. All right, Robert. Keep RC legal. Don't kill the hobby. Yeah. Jeez. Hashtag not me, says Mitchell Farley. Dang. Texas K-Flyer, maybe? I've submitted 6 comments so far. That's fantastic. For real, Greg Ernst. That's my thing altogether. Distinction. Commercial use, performing a mission, yes. Regulation and safety, get it done, do it, you know. But geez Louise, the modeler flying in a circle somewhere, you know, an oval racetrack, Jiminy Christmas. The UAS thing needs to go away completely for the recreational hobbyist. Let the recreational hobbyist thing cover it all. That's recreational hobby. That's helis, that's quads, that's camera stuff, that's FPV, that's guys even flying out of line of sight a little bit if they're just goofing off. You know, even the drones that aren't super fancy that are going to do real estate work. Yeah. Come down on them. Texarkana. Got it. Control line, anyone. I'll take my stuff to the racetrack before I do that. I mean, it's cool. Yeah, no discernment at all. There needs to be. Big time. Yeah, man. I mean, the original... the reason we have unions isn't in the first place. Those days are gone. You know what I mean? So do you need them still? No. No little kids working 18-hour days and stuff. Free flight. Hashtag free flight. Yo, free flight. Like hashtag or free flight like that. That's all that's left. I mean, there's some of those disciplines that there's no way they could put anything on them at all. And you shouldn't have to. Yeah, man. A lot of guys started on control line. It's hard for me to think about it because I know how much I love flying the way I do. I can't stand the idea of the circle, but I can see when there wasn't another alternative really that was affordable, that would have been the jam. I mean, my dad did it. All right, y'all. I keep saying it. Do your part, you guys. Yeah, William Decker. Look, man, that's a concern. I wouldn't have thought about it, but I've seen guys mention it. Those guys, we do have the right to pursue happiness, and sail planes over 400 feet. Yeah. If you must register, subcategory, waiver, whatever, but don't kill that. Don't kill that. Yep, comment, y'all. Frankie Envy, the model industry needs to be as strong as the NRA. Hangar 51, there you go. It doesn't make you dizzy if you focus on the plane. For sure. Man, that's why, I mean, I might do a Dear FAA video. Like, when I read my comment, I'll try to make a standalone. I hope they watch it. And maybe I should show some of my planes, you know what I mean, with them in it. Started with a 1/2 A control line in 56, RC in 63. Wreckham Roy, man, you're late. Good to see you. We're wrapping up, man. We've been ripping, trying to get some things done, man. I feel the best represented by Flitetest, folks, right now. And I think if you guys check out what they're putting down, you will too. I recommend using some of that same language, offering some of the same solutions, and you can still be dissatisfied but respectful about the way you make your comment. So, Roy, you missed a lot tonight. You've been in the hobby for way more than half your life. Man, I wish I knew you were that little before. I would have bit my tongue better. Mr. T, no, I haven't. Not yet. We just got all the gear we need for the internals. Aha. Freddy's, huh? There a bunch of Bettys at Freddy's? What's Freddy's? Scottabot, I agree, but it seems started in 93. It just doesn't, I tell you, I feel the best about Flitetest's representation of our voice. Guys, man, do your thing. Seriously. It's easy. Get it done. I hate to have to keep saying it, but get it done. The numbers of the amount of comments that have been made so far is pitiful. Bloody pitiful compared to the amount of people who are flying planes. It's sad, it's sick, it's complacent, it's wimpy. Don't be a wimp. Don't be a wimp. And shame your friends who are. We're going to roll. Love you guys. Keep watching, subscribe, all that good stuff, man. This is what we do. We connect. We connect with the hobby. We connect with people. We help them learn how to fly and be successful. Companies love what we do so much. They send us the new stuff so we can share it together and see what's up. We are the hobby. That's why our voice matters more than the companies. The companies are nothing without us. If we don't buy the shit, there's no company. Make your voice heard. Do your part to comment. None of it's anything without us. And if you don't pipe up, if you don't stand up, you're being a wimp. So get it done. For real. Or I will shun you for my whole life. I will lose respect for you. I'll think you're a wimp. We got plenty of wimpy snowflakes running around the place making rules for us. Don't let them do it on this. Make your comments known. You can do it as a gentleman and still express your snarktitude. But use something that makes sense. Don't just bitch, put out solutions. Let's get it done. Up these numbers because they're pitiful, and shame your buddies into getting it done. No bullshit excuses, no complacency. Who cares? Even if you're right in your cynicism, who knows? Don't count it out. The fat lady hadn't sang yet. Get it done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get it done. I'm out of here tonight, y'all. Later. I got to figure out how to get out of my stream, though.